welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we're in a hurry today because I'm late and she's got a class. So
Yes.
we're in a hurry today, but we're glad you're here. You know us. We're three sisters. We like to craft with sticks like this or like those little tiny pointy sticks and strings of all kinds. So I do big strings, they do little strings, but we all do sticks and strings.
This morning, I was at Midsummer Stitch, which is going on this weekend, and one of the ladies in my little stitch table that I was in asked me, she was asking everybody, oh, are you on Flosstube? What's the name of your channel, whatever. And
I just spilled Diet Coke on myself. Sorry.
And so for this, I said, oh yeah, my sister's coming over. We're going to do our video this morning, and she says, oh, what's the name of it? And I'm like, I could not remember. I said, I know our Etsy shop is Three Sisters Creative. That's what, I said, but our video is called
Three Sisters Creative.
No,
it's called
our video is
Sticks
called
and
Sticks and Strings.
She calls it Sticks and Strings, but that's
Yeah,
not, if you
but
want
I
to
mean-
look it up, you look
But
up.
our YouTube handle
Yeah.
is Three Sisters Creative.
It's like, I
Good
don't
job,
know.
Beth.
I know. I thought this is my one chance to promote it. Yeah.
Well, if they search Three Sister Creative, they'll
Yeah.
find us. Thank you so much for finding us and for joining us. And so grab your crafts, grab your favorite drink. We're going to hustle through our day today.
We have ducks because it's like been raining
It's
and
been raining.
we
It's
all feel like ducks.
one of my friends said, enjoy the rain. I was like, is that what you call it? But it's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been really nice. All right, Eve is going first, just
I
in
am.
case she has to take off.
In case
her
my class starts and I have to go. Okay, so again, I am working on Murder in the Garden by Hands On Design. And it looks exactly like it did last week because I haven't stitched on it at all this week. So this is the first love it's going to be getting in a week because I've been stitching on many other things. So I did one day on, not a whole day, part of a day, on Art Deco Summer by, it was Cross Stitching for Fun. Now there's Sunflower Cross Stitch. You can find them on Etsy and on Facebook. And I finished the yellow on the butterfly and I was working on the white. That's all I did. The white you can't see. But it's white. You can see it up close, but you can't see it.
What needle minder is that? What is that?
Kitty cats.
Oh. I thought, it's not poop. What is that? I just saw that pyramid shape. Sorry.
Only positive comments, please.
Eve, you're on.
So, this is my temperature chart, Temperature Pets by Jace Breeze. I settled on that. And here's up to last Thursday. Now you see it's starting to get a little bit cooler. Well, the last few days have been positively cold.
We feel cold.
Compared to other days, it didn't even reach 100 the past 2 days. So, much cooler than it's been. And very cool for July. I was afraid July was going to be ridiculously hot, but it's been okay. And this is another WIP-GO project, Blackberry by Hands On Design. And it looks like nothing, but it was really nothing before. It was this little middle thing here and one stitch or something. It was very small. So I've added a little bit. I need to quit leaning on the table. And then Crazy Stitch, We Do Geek. I was working on this morning. I have half of the O done in Do. So I'm getting there. I'm getting closer to the finish of the original project.
Then you're going to modify it.
Then I'm going to modify it, yeah. And then for the class that's starting in an hour.
That's not that bad. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're all right. Is I'm working on this for that class. This is Dark Forest by Tiny Modernist, and it's a journal cover class. And
Oh, wow.
here's where I am so far.
Looks good.
I have most of the principal stitching done and some of the back stitching.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be really pretty.
I think it'll be really nice on the journal.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. Whoops, I got
Did
up.
she recommend a gray fabric like that, or did you choose that?
I chose that because it was long enough to go around the journal and
It's a nice color.
the right size for the pattern. I chose that pattern for that fabric. And then the class tomorrow is again Tiny Modernist. This one is the one that the class is for. Beth bought this for me for my birthday in August. This is Night Window, and it's got 3 panes that you have to do. I finished the middle pane, and I'm working on this.
You're going gangbusters on that.
That's because that's all I'm doing. Barely. I stop to crochet at night, and I'm like, I'm really tired. But I'm almost done with the fox. I won't get
So
the
pretty.
butter. I won't get the moth done by tomorrow, but you know,
No, it's good.
I have to work on it while I'm talking and stitching tables and such, and you can't get as much done because you're like, what do I do? But that is me.
Okay.
I went very fast. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll go next if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do knit together, and then okay. So do you remember last week when I was like, I'm going through 1 ball of yarn a week? Not this week, because I'm still on the ball that I started. I mean, it's a little thinner, but I did a lot of sleep knitting this week because our big on sale day is Monday. And so I have been working late basically almost every single day this week, just trying to get ready. There's just 1,000 things to do. And yesterday was supposed to be a half day. Didn't get a half day. But I'm really proud of that work, and everything is in order. So that's good. But my knitting has suffered. And also...
That pesky work.
No, it's really getting in the way of my knitting. But also, Mark bought, we took out Wingspan. I don't know if you've ever played that game. It's really beautiful. If you know it, it's like all these birds, and they have different things that affect your game as you call them to your sanctuary or whatever it says. And the artwork is beautiful and everything. And then, so we started playing that again, and then he bought an expansion. So last night, when I thought I might have some knitting time, he had this expansion, and it's really cool. It's hummingbirds, and it's just beautiful. And then also, my birthday was this week. So on my birthday night, I still had to work late, but then we went to dinner. He took me to. I couldn't decide where to go, and we went to Postino's. So, and I can tell you about that in stories, but. Anyway, all this to say, I haven't had that knitting time.
You've had it. You've just spent it doing other things.
I've spent it falling asleep in my chair.
Yeah.
And also, something new that happened this week that's taken my knitting time is I started walking.
Good for you.
I just decided it, and I didn't start on my birthday because I thought that was too much pressure. I started before my birthday, but I'm like, in this year, this is the year I take that back. I've taken a lot of steps toward my health recently, but this is the last one that I've been putting off. So I started walking. And
it's been pleasant.
And the weather has been nicer, but, and this morning I didn't want to go. My leg hurt, and I was like, but I'm like, no, you know what? Actually, when you texted me so early, and you were like, when are you coming? I'm like, no, I have to take my walk. That's kind of when I decided to, because I was really debating about it, and I'm like, no, you know what, I'm going to do it. So instead of sitting in my chair and knitting in the mornings, I've been trying to walk. So it's okay. But anyway, so that's where I am. I'm still working on this big sweater, and I'm so very excited about it. But that is literally me.
Okay, hang on one second. My needle minder is down here because I moved it for the picture.
Not to be boring, I did do a little bit more on the 10 stitch blanket, and I forgot to bring it, so I'll bring it next week so you can see that. But other than that, that's all I've done.
I just need to, this needle minder's really hard, stuck on there. I just needed to move it because otherwise my needle is in the wrong place. So, I had done a little bit more on Freedom Flock. This is my cross-stitch camp piece for July. So I've done a little bit more on it. I outlined the bottom eagle's body. I still have the red stripes on his little shield. And then the other wing. And then there's a little bit of fill-in for the wing. And then sort of just a bunch of the smaller, like Quaker type motifs. This is by Plum Street Samplers. This is the challenge for July was to do something patriotic, or the colors of a flag, or whatever, if you're not from the U.S. But so I have a bunch of patriotic things for this year, but this is the one I chose to do for July's cross-stitch camp. So yeah, it's coming along. I just haven't worked on it the last couple of days because A, I've been trying to, excuse me, do my WIP-GO piece, and B, because I haven't taken it to the craft groups that Eve and I go to on Thursday and Friday, because the light in there is a little more diffuse, and since this is 36 count fabric, it's easier for me if, with bright light and stuff on there, just so I can see what I'm doing.
Well, it's 36 count, but it's also dark.
Yeah, and so I haven't done too much more on it since, I think, just after last weekend. I stitched a little more like Monday or Tuesday, and then I started working in earnest on my WIP-GO piece, because I want to finish it. Technically, yesterday was the 7th day. Let me just go ahead and take this out of the hoop. But so I think with a couple of extra days, I can actually finish this. So I'm trying to finish all my, Year in the Woods animals. And I have, this is what my October, November, and December, 10, 11, and 12 pieces. And so, and they're probably the most, the farthest to go on all of them. And I realized that, I remember I had a lot of trouble when I was
holding it above the
I know.
hooks.
I had a lot of trouble when I was working on the bat last year, because mostly what I have, I think I've done almost all of the leaves and stuff, but I have all of this like stitching in between all these little. I did all the little swirlies on his wing last year, and it's really kind of hard to fill in the wing, because you would think it's just fill in stitching, but it's you have to stitch around all the little swirlies and things that are there. And the same thing is what's happening with this beaver's tail. I had a little bit more to do of the little motifs in his tail. They weren't all finished, but mostly now all I have to do is the black fill-in stitching. So I was doing that for a while, and then I kind of got sick of that, and I went ahead and finished all these leaves. So all the leaves down here on the bottom, and I put in this tree, wasn't there before. So all the leaves on the bottom, I had to add some and finish others. So they're all done. And now the leaves up here on top, I'm just adding the darker colors to the leaves, and they'll be done. And so all that's left besides that is the tail, the black, darker part of the tail. So theoretically, I think that probably in 2, maybe 3 days, I should be able to finish that. So by the end of this month, I should be able to finish this. I think I should be able to finish Freedom Flock. And then I have 2 new starts for my WIP-GO, which I don't have a specific amount to do, so theoretically I could just do one, one small beginning on each of them and hit my goal. So that, I think there's no pressure there. But then my other WIP-GO piece is going to be, I think I showed it before, Dust of Snow. This is Lindy Stitches. I meant to say the beaver is the Year in the Woods is Cottage Garden Samplings. This is by Lindy Stitches. It's a Robert Frost poem. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I rued. It's really pretty. So on this one, I've done just the beginning of it. So I was looking through my my little my project bag to see if I had all the threads, and there's a couple of them that I'm missing, and a couple that I changed because it was charted in belle soie or needlepoint silks or something. Yeah, belle soie and needlepoint silks, and with a DMC conversion listed. And on some of them, the DMC that was listed, like up here in the corner, well, you can see it better on here. On these little pine cones, they're like a pink color and a brown color to make the little pine cones, or whatever they are. But on this picture here, they're very that pink is very pink, and the color that was recommended in conversion was a very bronzy color. So I went ahead and went with this pinker color to make it stand out a little more. I think it was too close to the other brown and the pine cone. So I was looking at my notes, scribbling where I'd scribbled the changes. I'm like, why did I change that? And then I looked at it more closely. So, but I was going through it, and there's a couple of colors in that of DMC that are just not in. I took them out at some point to use on some other project, so I had to find those again. But I think most of them are there, so that's pretty much ready to go. I just have to hoop it up and finish it. But that's me. I think I'm still working on the beaver.
All right. That brings us to our question of the week. Last week in honor of my birthday, we asked where you would like to spend your birthday, and I got lots of happy birthday wishes from folks, and that was very sweet. Elizabeth Donaldson says that her birthday's in June, and her dream birthday place is Chicago. Going there for a couple of days and enjoying the walks, the museum, nice restaurant, and the theater. And I got lots of recommendations to celebrate all month long, which I'm taking to heart.
That's fine.
Let's see. Someone said, Noreen said, all my birthday goodies can go inside the chicken, the chicken bag.
It's a lot smaller than I hoped. But
I love it. Homespun in Wales says that her birthday's in November, and there's usually a big Christmas craft and sewing event in Birmingham, and she likes to go to it for her birthday treat. And there's another October 10 birthday in our viewers. Teresa Crickets, October 10. So thanks for those comments. This week, in honor of our rain, which is so rare, we're just wondering, what is the weather doing to you this summer? Are you dry? Are you sopping wet? Are you somewhere in between? Let us know how the weather is in your corner of the world. Yeah, we're experiencing humidity, which is
unusual,
rare and unusual.
I actually had to break out my umbrella yesterday because it was actually raining.
I thought about it, but I didn't. So yeah, let us know. And as we move into stories, I wanted to report on my birthday. Saturday we had a lovely dinner over at Rachel's, and that was really nice.
It was fun.
And I got lots of gnome. It was a gnome theme because I'm I'm a gnome person. I didn't bring anything with me. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about it. But I got lots of gnomes, and I love them. Rachel gave me two little gnomes sitting on mushrooms, kind of like these red mushrooms on here.
Oh yeah.
And Beth gave me a gnome to paint, so I'm gonna have to do that. And yeah, it was good. So Mark was like, "You get a present every night leading up to my birthday, but not on my birthday." So I play Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and on the Switch they have these little things called amiibos. It's like a little figure, and it's sitting on a base, and that base communicates to the Switch controller. So when you're playing the game, you put that amiibo over the controller, and in the game, you get a treasure chest and a bunch of stuff. So a while ago, I think it was Christmas, he got me a Link one, who's the main character, and then at some point, maybe it was Mother's Day, Eli got me a one with a little bird. I can't think of his name. Sorry for you. If there's anybody out there, I'm so sorry that I can't remember his name. But so with Link, you get a treasure. It's usually a sword and of some kind, and you get mushrooms, which you can cook and eat and all that. With the bird, it gives you a bow in the treasure box, and then arrows sometimes, and like all this junk falls, and there's like different fruits. And then, so for my birthday, Mark bought me Yunobo, who's like a big rock kind of guy, and I've only done him a couple times, but you get a sword in the treasure box. It's like a big rock smasher sword, and then like I got flint and salt, which are like stones. So I'm wondering if you do it more, if you get different, like maybe gems and stuff. So anyway, that was fun. Everybody knows I like that. And then he also bought me a Korok seed pillow. Korok seeds are these weird little things you find in that game, and you collect the seeds, but the little Koroks are the characters that give you the seeds, and they're funny little shaped things, and they always have leaf masks, and they're super cute, and I love them. And so he gave me a pillow of a Korok. It's very cute. And
He finds the most interesting things.
He's really good. And then Eli, he took the home run for the birthday. He got me, and I can't bring it because it's too big, but next time you're at my house, I'll show it to you. But I'll put a picture. He got me a tabletop wooden yarn ball winder.
Oh.
It's so nice. So it's this big thing, and you have a crank that goes like this, and it's wooden, and it's really great. So I used it to cake up the yarn for Hannah's friend's little top that I'm going to make her. So that was fun. That was a real treat that he got me that. So that was the birthday, and then I spent the birthday working hard. I've been at work all week. So, but on my birthday night, we went to Postino's. I've been there a couple times with Hannah. They do a lot of like charcuterie boards and paninis.
Is it an Italian restaurant or something like that?
I don't know how to classify it, but they specialize in like, I guess you could say in different what's it called? I'm so stupid. On the crostini breads, like the bruschetta. Bruschetta. So you can get different bruschetta. You can choose what you want on it. Different cheeses and jams and tomatoes and stuff, and then you can get charcuterie boards, and then you can get they had a whole appetizer of just a bowl of olives with pits. Oh, it was so good. And and Mark doesn't like a lot of weird cheeses. Like, he's not super adventurous that way, but he was like, we couldn't decide where to go, and I was like, well, I'd really like to go there, and he's like, okay, let's go. And he had a tuna salad panini, and he loved it. And Eli had like a roast beef dip one, and we got a hummus board instead of like a charcuterie. It was like a hummus, and it had like crostinis and pita and cucumbers, and this hummus was piled with feta cheese. Mark thinks that's his kryptonite, and then like these like marinated tomatoes, like and mint leaves, which I was surprised by, and like all this stuff like just piled on the hummus. So I took one bite of it and I said, you have to eat it like it comes. You just try the whole thing. Just scoop all of it onto it. And even Eli did. And he loved it. He loved it. And so I was like, see?
I say feta cheese is wonderful.
Well, and then I got a salad that was a little, I don't know what was in it. It was a little spicier than I wanted it to be. But it was good. And now I'm always afraid of eating salad, but whatever. But no, it was a nice time. And I was like, oh heck, whatever, it's my birthday, I'm gonna have a dessert. So we shared a dessert, and it was a coffee flavored brownie.
Oh my goodness.
Very strongly flavored coffee brownie.
That sounds so good.
And it said Cartel Coffee, which is a coffee company. I don't know if they're only here or what, but their coffee's known to be very strong. So I was like, okay. So, and it was sitting in a bed of like caramel sauce, and then the brownie, and then a scoop of ice cream, and she lit a candle for me. That brownie hit. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how to do that. Is it just espresso powder, or is it actual coffee somehow in the batter? So it was so good. And then on Thursday, so at my office, I had a birthday Wednesday. One of my friends had a birthday Thursday, and then one of my colleagues, and then another colleague has a birthday tomorrow. So all three of us, and we had staff meeting early because it was my fault, because I had things all week out of the office, and so we moved the staff meeting to basically like 11. So I conspired with the birthday girl that's tomorrow, and I was like, let's do something for our birthdays, like it's and so she was like, well, I could bring a cake, and I said I can make homemade ice cream, right? So, and then the other colleague jumped in, and she was like, well, I'll bring like lunch. So we catered our own birthday party, and another colleague heard about the ice cream, so he was like, well, I'm gonna throw down, and he brought sorbet. So I decided to make coffee ice cream. And I had put it in my little, I have a little, that container, and I guess they all thought it was, I'm like, nobody, you buy ice cream in a plastic container, like, they were like, you made this? I'm like, doesn't it look like homemade ice cream? But anyway, so there was chocolate cake and coffee ice cream and 2 kinds of sorbet. He did a chocolate sorbet and a fruit sorbet. So it was a fun time.
Yeah,
It was
that
a
sounds
fun
like
birthday
fun.
time. Yeah, it was good. It was good. And I didn't have time that day. Like afterward, I was like, oh, I should not have spent 2 hours sitting in that room talking and laughing. But how could I not? It was so much fun. And one of our colleagues was like, so the one whose birthday is the day after me, she used to work with the other one who's newer, whose birthday is Sunday. They used to work together. And so she said, in our old job, we had this like things that you would never know about me. She goes, and your story was amazing. So she told us, and so she's new to us, right? And she tells the whole story how she, when she was 19, went on The Price is Right. And everyone was like, what? And she goes, yeah. And then I won a car. And we were all like, what? And then she lost in the big showcase thing. But yeah, she won a car. Wow. At 19. And Price is Right. It was so funny. But we were laughing hysterically. And of course, I don't know. It's a fun crew. It was a fun crew. So it's been a fun week. And
That
I'm
sounds like a good time.
I can't eat anything ever again because I all week I was like, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. So I gotta cut that out. I told Mark yesterday, the birthday's over. I gotta go back to being good, which is why I got up and took a walk this morning.
Saturday for your birthday, you were good?
I was good, and then I proceeded to not be good.
Well, we purposely didn't serve cake.
Yeah, but the cheesecake was good, and your pudding was good, cheesecake pudding, and Rachel had a little cheesecake, and it was really good. But yeah, no,
I was telling you there was we used to have a potluck thing at work. It was like recipes from all over the country, depending on where people are from. But one guy was he worked in, I guess, the Seattle area, because it was, you know, his thing that he brought was like a Starbucks, kind of like a milkshake kind of. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it was like, it had something to do with, because I don't know if he used Starbucks coffee or something, but it was like, it was coffee flavored, but it was like a shake almost, I guess, kind of, you know, creamy, ice creamy, coffee flavored thing. But it was, and I have the recipe somewhere because I wrote it, you know, because all of those
They were like, "What is that?"
yeah, and everybody makes, you know, prints the recipe for everything you know, you bring whatever from all over the country. And so, but yeah, so this guy brought this Starbucks coffee drink thing a couple of times, and I had written down the recipe, and I have it somewhere, so, you know,
Well, that
lost in
doesn't
the
do
thing,
anybody
but-
any good.
And,
Well, if
but
you'd
I was
given
like,
it to me, I would make it.
yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I'd forgotten about it, but yeah.
How can you forget
My
about
coffee
something
ice
so
cream
delicious?
came out pretty good.
Uh-huh.
How do you make ice cream? You make it in
How
an
do I make
ice
it?
cream maker?
I have a Cuisinart ice cream maker.
Oh.
So you freeze now I heard that Ninja has a creamy, that's what I was gonna say, it has the creamy like machine, which I've thought about getting, but Mark was like, we should get one of those. He goes, but that's not good for you. And I'm like, I know. But I like my ice cream maker. And also, so for 4th of July, I tried making stevia ice cream. Now, the milks still have sugar in them, but the stevia ice cream I found I could eat. However, I didn't make it right because the recipe said you just need 2 teaspoons of stevia powder. But the stevia I have, which is stevia in the raw, says we've added something else to it. I can't remember. I can't remember. It starts with an M. To make it so that it's equal to sugar. So if you're replace what they say for the sugar. I didn't do that because I was like, I don't believe you. So I don't know what I did, but it was true because that ice cream, as it was starting to go, I tasted it. I'm like, oh, this tastes like cold milk. So I was, as it was mixing, I'm pouring in the stevia, which is not a good idea. But anyway, I still didn't add enough. But what I like about it is I feel like I can start to explore those recipes with stevia instead.
I have stevia and that I made Tim some homemade cookies with.
Mm-hmm.
They tasted just like regular cookies.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Yeah, I like stevia, and so anyway, I need to try that again with the actual right measurements this time. But anyway, it's a bowl that you keep frozen in the freezer. So it's like a liquid-filled bowl, and you put it in the freezer. And then when you're ready to make the ice cream, I forgot this step, which bit me in the behind twice, is that you mix everything together for the ice cream, like the milk and the cream and the vanilla, whatever. And then you have to put it in the fridge. It says for at least an hour or better overnight, so that it's really, really cold. And also put it in a container that pours. Don't be like me and put it in something that doesn't pour well, because you will pour ice cream mix all over your counter. I'm just saying, I think that was what will happen. I don't know for sure, but that's some good advice. Don't ask me how I know. And not only that, I did it twice. Where I didn't put it in the correct. I have the correct container. I didn't. Anyway. Okay,
That's like not putting the bottom thing on the blender well.
So, yeah, exactly. So you have to make sure that the mix is really, really cold. You can't mix it right there and then start it, because you have to make that cold, and then as you take the bowl out of the freezer, put it in, and pour that stuff in right away, straight out of the fridge. So everything's cold. And so then the machine turns it, and there's a paddle in there, and eventually it freezes from the outside in, and it works really, really well.
It was really good.
Yeah, I've been really happy with it. I haven't experimented a ton with flavors, and I found that coffee recipe, so I did it as follows. But it calls for a whole cup of coffee instead of like an espresso powder or anything like that. So the coffee ice cream to me was a little more frozen, like crystals, because it was water basically that you added instead of just cream and milk, because it called
Generally, with coffee ice cream, it calls for like freeze-dried ice coffee or something like
or
that.
it's like espresso powder.
Yeah.
So, but it came out good. I enjoyed it. Everybody liked it. Everyone was surprised that I made it. So that's always fun.
You're talking about crystals, like frozen water. One of the things I used to do it more often, but I just got lazy about it. But what I always liked is ice cream and Jello, because the Jello freezes. The ice cream freezes it. You just scoop whatever ice cream you're wanting, and throw in some Jello, mix it all up, and the Jello, because it has water in it, it freezes, and so you get this nice little fruity, crunchy flavor.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm an ice
and
cream.
I could lie to myself and pretend it's healthy.
No, it's not. As well, and it's hard
Sugar free Jello.
because I love ice cream desperately. I've always have. So, so for me to like okay, let's explore this.
I remember when you were a kid, you used to have like a bowl of ice cream at 3:00 every afternoon after school.
Oh, okay, so, Stouffer's animal crackers, the smooth ones. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're so good. And I was thinking about it the other day because we got a new bag of them at home, and I eat like one or two at a time. And I had put one in my mouth, and I was just like, I remember one of my favorite snacks as an adult is a bowl of vanilla ice cream with those thrown in there. And you eat them while they're still crunchy, and then they start to get soft. And anyway.
So when
good.
I would take my lunch, I would take a box of animal crackers, and I'd take pudding, and I'd play La Brea Tar Pit.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's always yummy.
Did we pose our question of the week?
Yeah, we already did. You were asleep.
Oh.
Weather.
What's going on with the weather with you guys?
Well, there's a lot of weather happening, like in Texas and all that.
Yeah.
So just,
I'm
curious.
I have this really good knack for driving home in dust storms.
Yes, I thought about that.
I did it twice this week alone, and the first time was so bad that and it's like, I don't know if you were with us last summer when our tree was felled by a storm. The one I drove in this week was basically as bad, and almost as bad, it seemed like. And at one point, I literally was turning the wheel to avoid getting shoved out of my lane.
Wow.
The wind was so awful.
Well, when there's
and I couldn't see very well, and
was it rain?
Nope, just dust and wind.
Well, when there's a dust storm, you're supposed to get off the road.
Well, I didn't. I was on the 101. Me and all the other people with our little hazards on, going, we shouldn't be here, but yet we are here.
Yeah,
and we are just gonna keep going here.
We noticed that the McDonald's near our house, a big chunk of the Palo Verde tree had broken.
I know, they're all over. On my birthday, that was one of the things. Is Mark was like, I don't think we should go to Postino's because they have a huge outdoor, area. And he goes, it's all outdoor, isn't it? And I said, no, they have indoor. And so then we get there, and there's a storm coming. Obviously, you could see it coming from the east all the time. Always, it's always coming from the east. And he's like, he goes, it would be okay. We should sit outside. You can sit outside. But the sun was still, the west was completely clear, and the sun was, right? And so he goes, yeah, let's, because they said, well, it's a 20-minute wait if you want to eat inside, or you can go outside right now. And he's like, let's go outside, because he hates waiting. And I'm like, I don't want to. But we went out, and we sat at this table, and my back was facing the west, and it just was like burning me. And I'm like, I don't really want to sit here. And it was hot. And I'm like,
this is not what I imagined for my birthday dinner. And I didn't want to be a jerk, but then the wind started kicking up, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit with dirt in my food.
But I didn't want to have dirt in my food, so that's when a waiter walked by, and I was like, can we go inside? So we went inside, and we still had to wait.
Yeah.
So we waited around inside, and then all of a sudden, she's like, it's going to be 20 minutes. And somebody else had come in, and they had checked in online, so they got in ahead of us. And then she comes up to me, and she's like, I had a reservation cancel, so would you like to come over here? And I was like, yeah, because we went with no reservation, which was dumb. But I was like, it's a Wednesday. Who needs reservations on Wednesday? But, so that was our fun, stormy experience for my birthday. And so I got a storm for my birthday.
When we went to, was it Thursday or Friday that we went, and it was pouring, Friday, I guess, to the crafting group at the library.
I'm jealous.
It
of
was
that.
raining so hard. And I'm like, I have to use my windshield wipers. I don't know what to set them at. This is too slow. This is too fast. And these windshield wipers are loud, and I never knew that.
Well, the richest I ever feel. Now I don't have a fancy car, but one of its options is automatic windshield wipers. So as soon as it detects somehow water on the windshield, it starts to it'll start wiping, and it'll go faster if it gets worse, and slower if it gets. And I'm like, I am so fancy.
You know what happens to me with my automatic lights? Robert borrows my car and turn them off the auto, and I don't notice until I get honks and stuff like that.
When we were coming back from Rachel's, we were driving along, and we were going through city streets, and
I'm like thinking it's really dark on McClintock now.
But then, as we were going down some street, I was looking in the mirror, and I saw somebody, it looked like they flashed their lights, but I couldn't tell if it was them flashing their lights or just how when a car goes over a bump, the
Right.
lights, So I was like, what do I, I didn't really say anything, but I just thought, And then they didn't do anything, and nobody honked, and nobody,
Every time he
But
borrows
then-
my car.
But then, the cars kind of went away, and we were just by ourselves, and I'm thinking, it's awfully dark, and so I asked Steve, "Are the headlights on?"
He probably doesn't mean to. He probably just turns them off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I know he
automatic
doesn't mean
habit.
to. I know
Yeah.
he doesn't mean to
You
because
just do it by habit,
and his car probably has automatic lights. He could probably turn them on. But I like them on auto because then I don't have to think about it. It just senses when it's dark and turns them on.
Yeah.
But I don't notice when they're not on.
Well, especially it's like you said when when
If you're
on
driving in lights and
in the streets,
We're in a
that
big
are
parking
well lit.
lot, and then you get into the street, and you're like, "Whoa, wait, what's wrong?"
One that was the one time I got a police officer saying, "Get out of the car, ma'am," because it was when I was in Little Rock before I started working full time, and I was doing temp stuff, and I worked at the Capitol building for about 6 weeks or so, and and I had to park in the paid lot, and so I had to have cash every Monday, for my parking. And it was like Sunday night, and I realized, oh, I have no cash, and so I had to run out to the ATM, and the closest ATM to me was the main branch of my bank, and so it was on Broadway, which is the big drag downtown in Little Rock, and it was, it's on the corner of Broadway and whatever. So it was very well lit, and I remember I went to the ATM and I got in my car and I put my money away right away because I didn't want to get robbed or whatever. So I was putting my money away, and then I just started down the road, and I didn't notice that I did not have my lights on because I was on Broadway and it was very well lit. And so I turned on to 7th Street, and way up ahead of me, a couple of blocks up ahead of me, was a police car. And I didn't think anything of it. But I turned left, and then before I know it, here's this police car, with his lights on, and I'm like, oh, you know, and then I pulled over and I went to get my license and everything, and then I noticed that the lights were off because my dashboard wasn't lit and my, you know, it was dark inside the car, and I'm like, oh, and so I turned the lights on, right, and I got my license and everything, and I hear the police officer on the PA, they have, you know, like, get out of the car, ma'am, and I'm like, ah, and I got out of the car, and I'm like, what did I, you know, and I realized
Why was he freaked out?
because when you don't have your lights on, it's like, I think drug dealers do that often,
Yeah.
and especially downtown.
I wonder if he thought you were going to take off because you turned your lights on or something.
Because when I first pulled over, and I mean, when I first turned onto 7th Street and he came, you know, the cop car came and they lit me up, I thought, well, I didn't, you know, like, I thought, did I cut them off? I don't think I cut them off. They were far enough away. I didn't, like, turn in front of them, you know, suddenly or anything like that.
Did he say why he stopped you? Because of the lights?
Because of the lights, yeah, yeah. But, you know, so like, no.
And then he took you to jail?
Huh?
Then he took you to jail?
No.
Oh, darn. Robert has probably, well, yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, so the incredible thing happened. So sweet and kind of sad. On Thursday, so all week long, as part of my job in group sales, is we've been going to retirement communities that we know bring buses and lots of people to our concerts. So we decided this, I think I told you this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to go out. So we did. And the one I went to on Thursday, a beautiful senior lady sat down next to me, and she told me her last name. And it was rare. And I said, I knew somebody with that name. I said, he was my doctor. And her eyes just teared up like this. Now, this doctor, I never met him when I was going to this practice. I would only see the PAs. But then when my parents moved out here, I took Dad to him. And for that appointment, he came in and met Dad. And he was in the service, and my dad was, of course, in the service. So they bonded over that, and he was so sweet, and Dad loved him. And a little while later, he went on a Doctors Without Borders trip, and then a little while after that, we hear that actually he had cancer and passed away.
Mm.
And there's like in the office, there's like a picture of him and his family and his whole story. Well, this was his mother.
Oh.
And his mother and father lived in that community. And I was like, I said, I told her that whole story about how he put, you know, because that was like one of the first appointments that here in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And it put Dad at ease, and like how sweet he was. And he was like, yeah. She goes, thank you for mentioning him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm.
and you know, you think of parents losing children, of little children, but you don't think, and I guess I never thought of parents losing children, adult children, and having to then, you know, go on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how old she was. She seemed pretty elderly, but I thought, gosh, and she's been living with that, and I don't know, it was really like, I could not believe
Our
that,
grandmother said, I've lost enough children. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go.
yeah. So but it was so sweet. I was so glad to be able to help her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really, really nice. And she's a spry little lady. And I don't know, it was just really special. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Of all the
Yeah.
people and all the, you know.
I think
Yeah.
your child is your child.
Oh, of course,
You know.
absolutely, 100%. But I'm just amazed that she
Yeah.
sat down and that was the person that
Yeah.
I got to serve that
That's
day.
nice.
So that was fun. But we should probably wrap up so you
Yes.
have time to get settled before your class.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
class is it? The journal class?
Journal.
Fun.
Tomorrow is midsummer.
I'm jealous of you
night
guys
window.
going to the craft things.
If somebody asked, how come she doesn't come? And I said, because she works in Scottsdale.
I work in Scottsdale like a dog.
Yeah, you have to be old and retired like us.
I'm old. I'm just not retired.
Yeah.
But no, job is going good. I'm glad to be there. It's hard.
You're enjoying it. It's
It's
just,
hard. Monday's gonna be crazy.
Well, you know, when I was taking the rehab after my surgery, the, you know, I was doing it. I did the outpatient
Tripped
rehab
water
for.
all over my sweater.
Yeah, it's very humid, so
The cups are sweaty.
I did outpatient rehab for about 6 months, I guess. I went 2 or 3 days a week for 6 months after I got out of the hospital. And toward the end of it, my therapist was asking me, you know, like, so, you know, are you trying to like go back to work? Because I had had a stroke and I had, you know, all the stuff. So I was still, you know, basically learning how to walk again, or, you know, how to walk without a cane or whatever, you know. But so she asked me, you know, are you trying to get back to work? And I'm like, no, I'm kind of tired.
I'm done.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and it's funny because like in your mind you feel like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. Like I actually got called for jury duty during that time, and I thought, well, you know, I could go because all you do for jury duty, you're just
and
sit.
Naomi and I went,
Yeah,
no.
like no, because then I was like, yeah, because then I have to like walk into the courtroom and hope, you know,
our courthouse, the one that she would have had to go to,
Not accessible.
It's massive parking lot and then stairs.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, there's all, you know, I'm sure they would have like, you know, handicap entrance and things like that. But then you sit and, you know, sit in the chair for
it
however
would've been a
long,
lot.
and you don't know, you know, it's just a whole bunch of. So yeah, but I was like happy to like not go back to work.
Yeah. Well, good that you don't have to. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us for our quick run through our crafts. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm kind of glad to sit still and knit for a while. So, but I have to go home to a kitchen that is. It blew up. So I gotta clean my kitchen today.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Hopefully not so hectic. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.